Hi friends, this is immigration lawyer Marina Shepelsky. As this year 2023 winds down, I want to talk about the 6 ways that immigration will affect and change the trajectory of the 2024 presidential election. Since I'm an immigration lawyer, I follow all the news and the politics relating to immigration very closely every day. So here is my opinion, obviously my opinion only, about how U.S. immigration and what's in store for immigrants will change the course of history in 2024 election. Please sign up for my channel, become a follower, and share this video if you like it at the end. Watch to the end. Number one way that the immigration issue will affect the presidential election is the open borders question. So we had President Biden that was able to open the borders in many ways that were never in existence before, with the CBP1 app that has the 98% approval with the statistics of people allowed in. There's the new parole systems that are giving people coming in a status immediately without a visa. So immigration will be a hot topic in 2024 as the open borders that I consider to be open right now, considering everything else that's happened in the past, have affected life in the United States. Big cities like New York, Chicago, and DC are being overwhelmed with new migrants. They have no place to stay. They're not all getting the help they need. And candidates will be discussing the life in U.S. and how immigration should be directed in the election front and center. Now, the policies will depend on the new candidate. While President Biden and the administration have said, they want to continue with keeping things easier for immigrants, former President Trump has come out with a very hard-line plan for increasing deportations, shutting down the borders, making private police from the states to become part of immigration police and helping deport people, building, deportation camps, all of those things. It's going to be a hot issue. And as I am doing this video, the White House is negotiating a border shutdown and narrowing down who they're going to let in, or shutting down the borders like they did during the pandemic, in exchange for Congress approving financial aid package to Ukraine and Israel and Taiwan. So definitely this will be front and center. Number 2, candidates will be choosing their approach in line with their voters' demands. So every candidate knows who their core supporters are. Like Trump knows who his supporters are. Other people running for the Republican ticket know who their supporters are. The Democrats know who their supporters are. They will be catering to those groups in what they say and how they plan to act when they become a president. The way candidates talk about immigration can also influence how people will vote. Some candidates will emphasize border security, shutting down the border, and others will talk about focusing on creating new reforms, new ways for people to legalize, new pathways to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, and maybe bringing back some of the COVID era type laws like Title 42 was, or Remain in Mexico that Trump had. So this will be definitely affecting people and how they vote, but also they will be saying things that the people want to hear. 3 is demographics. So demographics like ages, ethnic groups, religion will be playing a role in this discussion about immigration issues, and candidates will try to appeal to different, even immigrant communities. Many immigrants are already U.S. citizens and will be voting, so they will want those communities to understand and grow immigration population. Immigrants have been known to vote for Democrats more than Republicans, with the exception of the Cubans and the Russians. But, again, ages, ethnic groups, immigrant communities, religion will play a role in the election. Now, 4 is asylum and refugees issues. candidates will be debating issues related to refugees and asylum seekers, should they get a quick work permit and so on. These will be humanitarian concerns to bring up and an issue of national security. 5 is the backlog of cases that are already in the immigration system. The immigration system is overwhelmed, not dealing well with these backlogs. Immigration judges are now like writing in open media saying how overwhelmed all the courts are, the millions of cases that are waiting to be heard in immigration courts. But besides immigration courts, where people are up for deportation, there's asylum with USCIS. People are waiting in the millions for 10 years and more. There's Department of State family petitions, employment petitions, EB-3 visa, which is just an immigrant visa, like a green card for people to come to US as permanent residents through work, now has a 5-year waiting period. That's never been a thing before. So this backlog is throwing the whole thing into a completely new territory that's never been in existence before. So this backlog, these lines, this overwhelmed state of the system will be at the front center of the immigration debate when the presidential candidates will be discussing this. And finally, it's important to know this election and how we deal with immigration will decide the future of the United States. No question about it. It's important to follow this election very closely and stay informed. And if you are a US citizen, vote, because each candidate's stance on immigration will decide many social issues in the future of our country, and the demographics will change, and people legalizing, if a reform ever happens, will help with increasing the taxes they pay into the system, will change the social system like insurance for immigrants and so on. Things are going to change, and they're changing already, and this election will decide how our future is. The young people voting will decide how our future is. So it's super important to keep track of what's happening with immigration in US as the election approaches. Have a happy holiday season, guys, whatever you're celebrating, and stay tuned for more videos like this on our channel.